Have you felt it? The dark side and the light.
The Force, a power used by the Jedi and the Sith, which allows them to use telepathy, enhance their physical traits, and gives them the ability to do a Force choke, even though it's not necessary in all situations. In order to learn how people like me and you can harness the Force, we must first ask, what is it? Well, the Force is...
The Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together.
Okay, well, Obi-Wan just cut me off there. Rude. That energy field and peaceful mumbo-jumbo that he said is quite nice and all, but seriously, how do I choke someone out using the Force? Or at least how do I do something like this? Now, as far as we know, there isn't anyone with a telekinetic power that can move objects with their mind.
Except for a select few individuals at Area 51 that are trained by the US government who have been carrying out missions for the past 40 years.
Whoa. Sorry, I don't know what that was. Does anyone else have that brainwashy feeling? But anyways, we are going to need a piece of technology to help us out with our Force chokes. Luckily, scientists at the University of Sussex and Bristol have developed a tractor beam. Yep. We're there now. How this thing works is it uses ultrasonic sound waves to create an interference pattern that can rotate objects and make them move side to side and up and down. What makes this different from other common levitation devices is that it works even when it's upside down against gravity. As of right now, it's unlikely that we will be able to choke out heavy things like the Big Show anytime soon. But in the future, handheld tractor beams that use sound, like the gadget just shown, or ones that use light, like a Bessel beam, could potentially give us all some partial telekinetic Force-like powers. Damn, why'd I have to be born in the 90s? Now, there are many other ways that a power like the Force could work in real life, like using the zero-point energy field manipulator as seen in the game Half-Life. But a technology like that is purely theoretical and would work by reducing the temperature of a system to absolute zero, which we can't do without freezing the universe. Although one cool thing is that scientists have shown that the closer we cool an object to absolute zero, the closer we come to seemingly defying the laws of physics. This is a superfluid that is cooled to near absolute zero. It has no viscosity, no friction, and it can flow upwards against gravity. Okay, so using the Force to lift someone up or to choke them is pretty theoretical. But sometimes all a Jedi really needs is a good Force push. Sorry, wrong clip. Although, the Fusro Da from Skyrim is one of the most scientific ways to mimic a Force push. For example, did you know that there's a limit to how loud something can be? Hearing a pin drop in a quiet room registers at about 15 decibels. A normal conversation registers at about 60. Unless you're in my family, then it's about 100. And the loudest a human can scream is about 120 decibels. Once a sound reaches 195 decibels, it actually becomes a shock wave and will act more like a Force push than a sound. For example, Mount St. Helens reached 286 decibels, and the sound was able to blow down trees from 16 miles away. And to top that, the Tunguska meteor of 1908 reached 305 decibels and was able to destroy 80 million trees over an area of 2,000 square kilometers. So if somehow you were able to shout upwards of 195 decibels, it would be possible for you to blow back your enemies. Although you'd probably kill yourself in doing so. Don't worry about that though, that's just a minor detail. But one thing you may have to worry about in the Star Wars universe is the lightsaber. The lightsaber is a sword that is made out of lasers and is used by... oh, I'm getting cut off again, aren't I? Fantastic.
Actually, Jack, lightsabers can't be made out of lasers, but why is that? Imagine that you have a lightsaber that's made from lasers. How would you put a cap on the end of this saber? Because we can't contain light, when you turn on your lightsaber, it will go through your enemy, the walls behind them, your neighbor's house, and so on and so forth. Also, because light can pass through itself, you wouldn't get those cool duels and sound effects that you get in the movies. So this laser sword can't be made out of lasers, which is kind of ironic, but it doesn't mean that it can't exist. Most people think that there are only 3 states of matter, solid, liquid, and gases, but most scientists agree that there are actually 5, including Bose-Einstein condensates and plasma. To some of you, it may come as a surprise that the most common form of matter in the universe is neither solid, liquid, or gases. It's actually plasma. And this is because it's what stars are made of, and stars make up for most of the mass in the universe. Lucky for us, plasma is exactly what we need to make our lightsaber. We can turn the temperature up to 10,000 degrees Celsius, which is hot enough to melt through anything on Earth. Plus, we can control and contain the plasma using a magnetic rod surrounded by high melting point ceramic material. The last problem that we will face will be to find a power source for our lightsaber. Our plasma sword will be generating about 50 megawatts of power, which is the equivalent of powering about 30,000 homes at once. So essentially, we would need to condense an entire power plant down to the size of our lightsaber handle. So it's impossible. Or is it? Carbon nanotubes and graphene are new technologies that are on the rise, and they have some extraordinary properties. One of which is that they are 1,000 times better at conducting electricity than your normal battery. But the biggest benefit in our case is that these carbon nanotubes are hundreds to millions of times smaller than your average battery. So theoretically, we can lay out trillions of these tiny nanotubes in our lightsabers, and it would give us more than enough power that we need.
Oh, it's back to me? Sorry, I didn't know I'd just been getting cut off so much in my own video. But anyways, that was Jabril from the channel SEFDScience. He did a cool video on if Star Wars could be happening somewhere in our universe right now. Make sure you check it out, links in the description. There are so many Star Wars topics that we couldn't cover, so let me know in the comments below if you'd want me to cover another Star Wars topic. And let me know in the comments below what your favorite Star Wars moment is. Mine was when Princess Leia said, "I love you," and Han said, "I know." That's all for now, folks. Just know that you are all very beautiful people, and I will see you next time. And then eventually launches it at the villain. This move has been able to kill a purple alien, a blob of silly putty,